The Indian Air Force has submitted a proposal to purchase additional S-400 Triumf missile systems from Russia, valued at more than $1 billion. According to reports from Jane's Defense Weekly and Defense News, negotiations between New Delhi and Moscow are now in their final stages. This move will expand India's existing fleet of 5 S-400 regiments, first contracted in 2018 under a deal worth about $5.4 billion. The goal is clear: to strengthen India's long-range air defense network amid growing threats from Pakistan in the west and China in the north. The S-400 Triumf is more than just a missile defense system. It represents how a nation protects its sovereignty in an era when attacks can come from hundreds of kilometers away without warning. Developed by Almaz and Tay, the system can detect, track, and intercept fighter jets, cruise missiles, and ballistic missiles at distances up to 400 kilometers. Each complete unit includes multi-frequency surveillance radars, command and control systems, and 4 types of missiles with varying ranges from 40 to 400 kilometers, providing layered protection against multiple threats. Data from Army recognition indicates that the S-400's 91 N6E radar can track up to 300 targets simultaneously. In combat configuration, it can engage 36 targets at once, with a reaction time measured in seconds. That flexibility makes the S-400 one of the most effective air defense systems in the world, and a key reason India continues to rely on it, despite mounting international pressure. India began receiving its first S-400 units in 2021. According to the Hindu and Hindustan Times, the first system was deployed in Punjab, strategically facing Pakistan, while others were positioned to cover the Arunachal Pradesh and Ladakh sectors, areas of high tension along the Chinese border. With this new batch, India aims to close the aerial gap between its 2 potential conflict fronts. The logic is simple: whoever can see and strike first controls the sky. Strategically, the purchase reflects India's sober assessment of the regional threat landscape. Tensions along the line of actual control with China have not fully eased since the deadly Gawan Valley clashes of 2020. Meanwhile, Pakistan continues to expand its medium-range missile forces and field new combat drones. In that context, the S-400 is not merely a defensive system, it is a deterrent, a signal sent in both directions. We see you. We are ready. We are not an easy target. Yet the decision also carries a complex geopolitical weight. New Delhi continues to maintain deep military ties with Russia despite growing Western pressure. The acquisition technically risks triggering sanctions under the U.S. CAATSA GRA, but Washington has held back, recognizing India's role as a critical strategic partner in balancing China. It highlights India's unique position, both a partner of the West and a long-standing client of Russia's defense industry. Analysts from the war zone describe India's approach as a near-perfect act of balancing. On one hand, it strengthens cooperation with the United States, France, and Israel, buying Rafale jets, MQ-9B drones, and advanced Western radars. On the other, it relies on Russia for strategic systems like the S-400 and civilian nuclear reactors at Kudam Kalam. This dual-track policy gives India maneuvering space, allowing it to remain independent from any single global bloc. Economically and logistically, this $1 billion deal carries its own set of challenges. Sanctions on Russia complicate payments and component shipments. However, defense news sources suggest both nations have devised barter and local currency payment mechanisms to bypass Western financial systems. For Russia, the contract helps sustain S-400 production lines at Nizhny Novgorod amid economic strain from the war in Ukraine. India is also reportedly negotiating greater local maintenance and parts production capacity. That aligns with the Make in India policy, which aims to achieve 70% defense self-sufficiency by 2030. If successful, India won't just be a user of the S-400, but a long-term operator capable of sustaining the system domestically. Yet beneath the strategic momentum lies complex operational reality. Integrating the S-400 into India's existing radar and command network presents challenges, especially since much of its current infrastructure is Western-built. Training personnel, testing data link compatibility, and securing communications against cyber intrusion remain critical tasks. According to Jane's Defense Weekly, India has already established a dedicated unit to ensure the Russian systems integrate seamlessly without compromising network security. This additional procurement also marks a broader doctrinal shift, from counting fighters to mastering the electromagnetic battle space. The Indian Air Force knows that modern air wars are no longer won by fleet size alone, but by who can see and strike first. With long-range radars and precision interceptors, India can project power and deter adversaries without ever launching a jet. Analysts call it deterrence by visibility, a doctrine built on the ability to detect, target, and destroy before the enemy even crosses the border. Regionally, India's expansion of the S-400 network will trigger recalibration among its neighbors. Pakistan is expected to accelerate development of supersonic cruise missiles like the Babur 3 and deepen defense cooperation with China. Meanwhile, Beijing, already operating the S-400 and developing its S-500 Prometi, will likely strengthen its air presence across Tibet and Xinjiang to maintain regional balance. Each major acquisition in Asia's defense landscape rarely stands alone. It ripples outward, reshaping strategies across the continent. Ultimately, India's decision reflects a simple but enduring truth. Power demands autonomy. This is not just a weapons contract, it's a statement of strategic philosophy. By securing additional S-400 systems, India is reinforcing its sovereignty and ensuring its airspace remains one of the hardest to penetrate in South Asia. In a world of shifting alliances and deepening rivalries, New Delhi stays on its chosen path: pragmatic, calculated, and uncompromising. In modern warfare, victory no longer belongs to those who hide the deepest, but to those who see first.